7 urban legend myths you still believe.
7.
Napoleon was short. Despite the fact that everyone believes Napoleon was short and the condition known as small man syndrome is most commonly associated with him, the French emperor was actually of average height. Records from France show he was around 5 foot 2 inches tall in the traditional French measurement, which comes out at about 5 foot 7 inches in the system used today. The idea that he was particularly short was probably spread by the British and could be attributed to the fact that he was usually surrounded by his exceptionally tall bodyguards.
6.
Carrots improve your vision. This myth is a product of World War II propaganda, when the British Army claimed that the reason its soldiers had such great night vision was that they ate their carrots. However, the British government merely promoted this information as a way to distract from the real reason their senses were going crazy. The fighter pilots all had radar in their aircraft, making the enemy much easier to detect. The carrot myth stuck around, though, despite its basis in lies, and it even found its way into Bugs Bunny cartoons.
5.
Touching a toad will give you warts. One can see why people don't want to go around touching toads, for the simple reason that they're ugly, slimy creatures. However, handling them won't make you look like one. The common perception is that toad skin are covered in warts, and those warts emit bacteria that are communicable. However, that's based on a misconception about what those actually are. That's just the animal's skin, adapted to help the toad better blend into his environment to avoid predators. Warts only come from human viruses.
4.
If you swim right after eating, you will get a cramp and drown. When you're a kid, you're constantly told to wait for between 15 minutes to a half an hour after you eat before you go swimming. However, that's just the result of overprotective parenting. Despite the common belief, there is no correlation between cramping and eating, and our bodies are perfectly adapted to simultaneously swim and digest. You might get queasy if you exert yourself too quickly, like going to the gym after a big meal, but that has nothing to do with the water. It would happen anyway.
3.
Watching TV will ruin your eyesight. When you're a kid, you're often told to stay away from the TV set when watching your favorite program, because if you get too close, you'll be in the 4 eyes brigade. Although this sounds like sound advice because it seems like it should be true, it's really not. Excessive television or screen staring can lead to eye strain when you're at a monitor for hours on end, but it won't irreparably kill your eyes. It can, however, cause headaches or fatigue, which is why you should take regular breaks from your screens because it's simply not good for your eyes.
2.
Cracking your knuckles will give you arthritis. The misconception here comes from the belief that the sound you hear when someone gets a loud crack out of their knuckles is the sound of their bones grinding against each other, but that's not the case. That noise comes from bubbles of air and gas bursting inside the joint, and studies have proven that that's not the sounds of arthritis. In all the research tests conducted, not a single knuckle cracker studied later got arthritis. However, cracking one's knuckles could lead to other problems down the road, like a decrease in flexibility and ligament damage.
1.
We only use 10% of our brains. The belief has always been that if you could access more than just 10% of your brain, you would become Professor Charles Xavier or something similar. That's probably what keeps fueling the fire because, hey, who wouldn't want to have the powers of Professor X, right? However, there are these medical technologies called PET scans that allow doctors to see the brain activity in a human brain, and it's abundantly clear that much more than just 10% is being used.